In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to properly clean your Janome sewing machine. I've already removed my needle, but now I have to remove my stitch plate. I'm going to be demonstrating on the 9450, but these techniques are going to be the exact same regardless of the machine you're using. The only thing that's going to be different is going to be how you remove your stitch plate. On the 9450, I have a quick release stitch plate, so all I have to do is press one button to release my plate. But if you have a machine that you have to screw or unscrew your stitch plate, go ahead and do that. So now I'm going to just pop off my stitch plate. You're going to hear a little noise. I'm going to pull it off at a diagonal. And now I'm going to remove my bobbin. We're going to go ahead and clean our bobbin now since we have it out. So I want to brush up above here. Go ahead and flip it to the back. Brush behind here as well. And just make sure there's not any lint or any sort of residue or threads caught up anywhere. Now that looks pretty good, so I'm going to set this aside. Now let's go ahead and clean our feed dogs. So you want to get in between each feed dog. And I like to clean my feed dogs first. That way if I'm brushing into where my bobbin goes, if I cleaned that first, then I'd be just putting dirt back into it. So then I have to do it again. And who wants to do twice as much work? I certainly don't. So now I'm just going to clean on the inside where my bobbin goes. Now I'm going to remove any of that lint. Also, if there's any stray threads anywhere, or you want to get that as well. Remember, we never want to use canned air. Canned air is not the inside of a machine's friend. They do not mix well, because what's going to happen is you're going to be just blowing more of that dust back into the feed dogs and back into the machine. And we don't want to do that because over time that can create problems. You can also rotate your flywheel to get into other areas for a little bit more visibility or better access. I also like to clean my brush off as well, just so that I'm not accidentally dropping more lint back into my machine. One more thing that I want to point out is this little spring here in the back. This is our tension spring. A lot of times if you're a very vigorous cleaner, you can knock that spring out of its position. And if you do that, you're going to have to take it to your service tech and they're going to have to replace it. So try to be careful in this particular area because you don't want to knock that off. Now that looks pretty good. Now let's talk about oiling. There's several places on this machine where you should oil. You don't have to oil this machine every single day, but what I do recommend is every couple months, go ahead and give 1 drop of oil right here in the center here. This is actually a wick, this is not lint, so do not pull this out. This stays. This is here for a reason. So we're going to put 1 drop of oil right here. The majority of our machines are going to come with sewing machine oil. So I'm going to just go ahead and put 1 drop of oil right there. Now let's go up to where the needle bar is. On the inside of the machine, I'm going to put 1 drop of oil next to the needle bar, right here. Now that we've put 1 drop of oil on, I'm going to turn my flywheel, and anytime you turn your flywheel, you always want to turn it towards you to where your needle would be in the down position. I'm just going to clean up above my needle bar, make sure that that is nice and clean and free of any residue. Now I'm going to put my bobbin case back in. In order to put your bobbin case back in, you want to make sure that your bobbin is in the right position. So I'm going to turn my flywheel into where I see this position right here. And now I'm going to insert my bobbin case. And you're going to hear a little snap. When you rotate your bobbin like this, you should feel a little bit of movement. That is a good thing. Now that my bobbin case is back in, let's put our stitch plate back on. To put our stitch plate back on, we're going to insert these 2 prongs on an angle and gently press down on that bullseye. You're going to hear a message on your machine that's going to tell you that you have which stitch plate you have on. You can go ahead and X out of that, and now our machine is clean.